God is great. Zaidi boy here. What? What's that? So my beautiful wife is not depressed as usual, and I'm not depressed. This is one of those. Actually, I'll just be honest with you. Maybe 6 months. In 6 months, we haven't been together like this because my wife is amazing. In any case, like guys, uh, like she can't stand me when I'm manic. Like there's basically two kinds of people. Like either like this is Scarborough, by the way. This is just right next to goddamn, what is this thing? The mall. Like this is just next to Scarborough Mall. Like so, I wish I could have like started this earlier, dear user slash viewer. Um, you know what? Like with these videos, guys, it's such a blessing. I keep coming back to it. Like I get sidetracked from what I talk about because I'm bipolar. Like the channel, bipolar Muslim addict. Like I realize now I have to promote in the title of the video. I'm gonna write hashtag bipolar, hashtag Muslim, hashtag addict. Hashtags I'm getting back into in a big way, and YouTube is actually using them in different ways. Let's say you put them in the description of the goddamn video. You use a hashtag. So kids, hashtag, this is very important. Like so regardless of what I'm talking about, whether that is sales and marketing, whether it's internet marketing and e-commerce, whether it is essentially how to make money online, or even like I have a lot of things to talk about, frankly, like how to get in shape and stay in shape. Like my wife and I, we're fitness fanatics. You can see like my wife's in great shape. I hope you don't mind that, sweetie. And we work very hard at this. We like my when I met my wife, she would put me in a goddamn bear hug with her legs or this kind of crap, and it would really goddamn hurt. And in fact, my wife like was more physically fit than me, but basically like, and right now I wouldn't challenge that, frankly, because and the proof is in the pudding. Because my wife, like my dad, for years I've called my wife Energizer Bunny. Anyway, I'm getting sidetracked about sidetrack. Like she just gets up 5 in the morning, reads the Bible for 2 hours every effing day. Today, yes. Yesterday, yes. Next week, last Thursday, yes. Every day. This has been going on for years, years. Like, and so mi esposa, como tú sabes, if you've been watching these videos or maybe not, like mi esposa es una cristiana de no Bogota, pero su familia es Bucaramangana. I like saying this, and then I say that it sounds like vampires and bats and things. And it's funny, I'm a Muslim, and we have a very intense language. Islam and Arabic, like the very word Arabic has this, the most intense letter is A, A, Arabi, Al Arab, Amanna. So that I'll be honest with you, like I'm bipolar, and so don't mind how I speak. Like I was just gonna say, and I'm gonna say that Quran shit talks Arabs, and the Quran shit talks Muslims. The Quran, just like the Bible, the Quran is gangster. Like my wife and I, like we're just coming from church right now. Like, sweetie, I hope you don't mind. I just like, I don't want to distract her, right? But she looks so beautiful, and like many people, she's camera shy. Sometimes not, or whatever. But generally, sweetie, if you don't mind me sharing this, because now that I've shared like literally your five, it's a weird thing like with me, because not just my wife, but my sister doesn't like follow me. Like I've begged her, and I've asked her goddamn mom-in-law, her husband's mom. I begged her husband's mom, my sister's, my brother-in-law. His name is Isa, which is Jesus. It means Jesus. He's from Bangalore, India. Jesus. So my wife, she, I don't know. I met my sister. My sister. She's married to an Indian. I'm Pakistani originally. Not by birth though. Not by birth. I mean, this thing, like this whole thing, guys, is like I'm just like a very interesting person. Like they said at ADP, like automatic data processing, Fortune 500, like payroll and HR software. So my wife and I were living in Seattle at the time. I interviewed there. I've done a lot of Fortune 500 interviews and worked for Fortune 500 in big tech. Like I've interviewed at Dell and basically everyone, like IBM, Microsoft. Um, I'm gonna have to say this as well. Like, one of the things I talk about is job hunting, and life is really good for me right now. Things are coming together, and I know why. And I gotta just say this to you that you gotta read this fucking book. If you want, just send me a comment and say, tell me what you like most about Gary Vaynerchuk. That's it. If you do that, I will send. I want a fucking copy of this thing. By the way, it's called Acres of Diamonds. I could probably pick up two of these things like for $10 on Amazon. To me, this is the value of someone this is internet marketing. What I'm doing right now. So again, if you're watching this, thank you. I have 9 subscribers, but I also have like I know I figured that out a long time ago. Like subscribers mean shit. It doesn't mean nothing. Like clicks and likes and dislikes. You will get more hate in the beginning than the love. What ends up happening, I know this already. Like I don't need to get to that point, but what happens ultimately, and you've probably seen it, your people who love you will fight the fucking people who hate you. The haters like is how you get off the fucking. The haters is like the plane. Like in Amway, they give you the following allegory. The plane, it's a great allegory, whether or not it's 50% or 60% or 70%. Well, let's just say the plane expends 80% of its fuel and energy getting off the ground. Let's just put it this way: the body, like I was talking to my wife about this earlier. We just had like coffee at McDonald's. The brain, this it's just a 3 pound organ. Like you're like 160 pounds, maybe 150, 120. My wife's at like 120. I'm about like 160. Like these are our ideal optimal weights, 165, something like this. So now, 3 pound organ, 25% of your body's energy slash heat. Heat. I have like multiple toques. These are two. I have a third toque on me right now, and like a couple of goddamn like at least one hood. This is my like paladin security jacket. Anyway, so Acres of Diamonds. I'll send you this book if you send me a comment and you're not being a dick and whatever. Like I am a truthful man and it's not a big deal. Like most people, like unfortunately, like most internet marketers are shit. Most marketers are shit. Most sales guys are shit. But sales is the best. Marketing is the best. Like you must market, and I can talk to you if you've got questions about, for example, I'm the guy who takes what, for, among other things, like what I do is I'm a student of Gary Vaynerchuk. He's one of my mentors. Like he's one of the people that has influenced and changed my life in practical ways. Just this is called influencer. Like the guy, like I sent him, for example, like I replied to one of his things recently. Like he follows me on Twitter and I follow him. I don't know if he, I think, I don't know if, like, this is as far as I recall. I sent him a link to a video of mine, a video on my original Zaidiboy channel, Zaidiboy. You can Google that. You'll see the YouTube, Facebook, you'll see my LinkedIn, you'll see my Twitter, these kinds of things. You'll see other Zaidi boys, like I don't know if they're imitators, but the top half of the page should be me predominantly, and you'll see my like on this channel. There's the green screen background, right? And then there is, of course, me there saluting you. I'm actually out of my gourd. That what I've realized is that picture works. That's the only reason I use it. And I bought a computer from some guy and basically had a photo studio. And I'm a trader, so I just talk to people anyway. So that's sales right there, and talking to people. And everything you want in life, dear user, you want a nice car, right? You want a nice house. You want job security. You want a nice job, right? You want security for your kids. So you want a nice politician representing you at City Hall. These kind, if you want to go that far, like if you ask me, right? Like so, here in Ontario, if you are happy with Doug Ford, or you don't think about that, you're a fucking goof as far as some people like myself are concerned. Fucking goof. Yeah, pedophile. As in, yeah, endangering kids, yeah, and responsible for the death and like torture or whatever. Yeah, for sure, all that. If you want to go down that path, sure. Yes, Doug Ford. Doug Ford, like 25 pounds fatter, that guy. The guy who basically robbed his beautiful, beloved so called brother. His wife, the Rob Ford's, the late and great Rob Ford, rest in peace, because he was exactly what we needed, by the way. Half gangster, half fucking mayor is exactly what we wanted and needed at that time in the GTA. Thank you, God. And the good Lord delivered. That's all that is. The guy smoking a crack pipe, but the guy is, he smoked. Okay, this is what I'll tell you what he did. He smoked crack pipe a couple of times, and a couple of times it's on video at least once. Did I see the video? Do I give a shit about things like this? Do I need to pry into any fucking person's business like that? No. One time he was drunk. Apparently, he's drinking booze out of a bottle. He was a fucking addict, and he had fucking big issues, of course, like most of us, by the way. Because you probably pop some fucking pills and drink booze as well. If you're listening to this, it's going to be localized. Most of the people that listen to these videos are here in Toronto. I think. I don't even know. I don't go into the analytics. Maybe I should. Like, I like. There's so much to YouTubing, and I urge you to give it a shot. And the reason you do it, kids, is because why the fuck not? Like, you might get famous. Like, if you look up this lady, Hannah Hart is her name. Drunkkitchen.com. Drunk Kitchen. She's one of these people with millions of YouTube followers. And she's a lesbian. And she's hot as shit. And she gets drunk out of her fucking gourd. And then she cooks shit or something like this. I seen one or two episodes. She's the bomb. Like, I love her. I idol worship her, and I don't really know her. But just learning up on her and seeing her shit, she was on LarryKing.com after just 6 episodes of her podcast. Do you understand what I'm saying to you? 6 episodes. So now you're gonna buy a fucking same lottery ticket for about 60 years. Average person who does this kind of thing, I don't fucking know. But they don't stop and it goes on for decades. You're gonna work your fucking face off for 40 years, like they say in Amway. What they say in Amway is all true, by the way. I don't know what else to say about it. Like every single fucking thing they say is true. They don't fucking lie, right? The one thing about Amway that I might as well just say, like, I want you to know I'm not in Amway, and yes, they're right. It's just like Larry Winters and Amway, the multi-level marketing goddamn model or organization that taught other businesses like Exxon and fucking MasterCard a bunch of shit as well, by the way, because that's like they say that's how business is. You got your CEO at the, you say it's a pyramid scheme, but that's the reality is business is about networking and talking to people. The only thing with Amway is that one circle doesn't work by itself. You need 6 circles. It's like Larry Winters said. Larry Winters said, so like I'm gonna tell you, like, if you have not been in Amway, you should, like Robert Kiyosaki wrote the book Rich Dad Poor Dad. Robert Kiyosaki, yeah, my wife is the best driver in the world, right, sweetie? Like my wife, I'm sorry, right now, like this is like an inside joke. Like my wife, I'm sorry, sweetie, don't mind this. Like, how are you gonna mind this? This is just silly fucking domestic bullshit. Like couples quarreling. Like you guys be the judge of whether my wife is chilled the fuck out or not. Yo, just throw me a comment and tell me if my wife, like, we're in the fast lane and she's like eating this asshole's ass, and then this fucking guy's giving us the eyeballs and stuff like this, and it's like my dad says, sweetie, please don't mind. Apu says this. He says he's the man. Like, just think about this line. Maybe this will do the job. He says just like, for example, my dad says, guys, I was just telling my wife this again. Like, I like repeating things. Everyone likes repeating things. The Quran says, فَذَكَّرْ إِن نَفَعَتِ الذِّكْرَ. Keep repeating things. Remember this. Like the basics, it's all the basics. It's all there's nothing other than the basics. The basics, everything comes. The other stuff just stems from the basics automatically. The basics is a master doesn't even worry about the Superman shit. Like there you go. There's Superman. I mean, I did actually see the logo first, guys, before, like beforehand. But you see, I could have just pretended that was a sign of God. Anyway, so the Don Valley tour right here is one of the most beautiful fucking places to hang out. If you are planning to visit Toronto, don't just go to CN Tower and Ripley's Aquarium. And I got a goddamn flyer for the AGO right here in my pocket, right? Like whatever, maybe not, maybe not, but I did meet a nice guy at Staples. I did see like what I'm talking about right now. Like this is what I do in life, and to me, it's just like they say, your life, you should be the CEO of your life, right? So this computer that I'm filming this on, oh, children of the corncubus, bearing in mind it's all about the kids, everyone else can just like take a hike as far as I'm concerned. Like I've realized my content attracts children, and just that fucking little thing has changed my life. Like my last year's YouTube channel, youtube.com/ at sign a rational Muslim, at sign a rational Muslim. This is what happens. The, okay, just check this out. I became a fucking pariah, outcast, and a criminal in the eyes of my community at my center. And I was driven out of there in this kind of shit, yo. I can't go back there, they told me. I show up there one time because I got videos, and hundreds of those fucking people apparently have watched like this channel last year. I have like maybe like 100, I don't know, like 100, 300 videos like the same here. Like I, I do this shit all the time, right? So I've got, I think, about 100 videos on this channel. I don't know. And again, I don't know if I mentioned this. I just want to point out, like I have a video on this channel at sign bipolar Muslim addict. Right? YouTube trying to be like Twitter. The ad sign. Okay, that's great. YouTube trying to be like Twitter, but not putting it in the fucking URL www.youtube, right? .com/ ad sign bipolar Muslim addict. www.youtube.com/ ad sign a rational Muslim. So a rational Muslim last year, you may see I've got like this is, I'm a marketing guy. This is all numbers, experimentation. Last year I was trying thumbnails, creating different pictures and putting them in there. The only thing I haven't tried on YouTube, couple of things. Uh, I actually created an animated intros to your video. Like you have a professional intro and you have the logo flying around and shit like this. I created one myself and it's actually fucking awesome. And I got it widescreen and I have it like a mobile fucking version. And like funnily enough, weirdly enough, I don't know why, like I would tell YouTube if I could. Like I shit talk them on Twitter, and like I get locked out of my goddamn Gmail accounts, guys. If and I'm sure you do, you have Gmail, then my advice is not to have a phone number in there, and you still may get locked out of your Gmail account. But when you change your phone number and then suddenly you're traveling, let's just put it this way. If you log on to your own home network where you've been logging in for years, but you do this after several months, Google may not like that and may ask you to do a two-step. Google may ask you to do a two-step verification even if you didn't set it up. Do you understand what I'm saying? Like I'm the guy who have been locked out of. I gotta thank this guy again, Giuseppe Morganti. Like he's a YouTube fan of mine. He's a goddamn like ex co-worker from Oracle Corporation. I don't know if you're gonna watch this, Joe. Hermano, buonasera, grazie para todos. This guy I got locked out of, guys. He sent me, by the way, he sent me the book by Dr. Michael Budd called, sweetie, keep an eye out for this book if you don't mind. They sent us this book. Not they, my good friend and YouTube fan. Like I mean, what this whole train of thought, by the way, is why you want to create content. You want to create content because like one of my fans, let's say, like I knew him prior to fucking YouTube. So that's like a fake fan. But the YouTube thing is, we're like best fucking friends for life. Like, bravo, Frank, me and this fucking guy. Like, it's almost gay with this guy. he's a he's a Catholic, yo. He's a family man. It's all good. Don't worry about that. We're just planning. We've been planning for literally years to get a coffee, right? So he sent me, like, I have written a rebuttal to Richard Dawkins' book called The No God Delusion. Richard Dawkins, famous and eminent Oxford slash Cambridge scholar and the goddamn creator of memes, the concept of memes, the author of The Selfish Gene, and a real fucking asshole. If you don't mind, like my I was gonna say my wife. My like I do this, sweetie. I don't know why. Oftentimes confuse you and Baji, and when I'm talking about Baji, I'll call her my wife. Anyway, so now Don Valley. So Don Valley, I just want to say it's one of the most. This is Don Valley Expressway. So thanks again for the ride, sweetie. Like my wife, like, I was saying earlier, like, I should not even be here. Like the Slipknot song, I shouldn't be here. I shouldn't even be here, or whatever. Yo, like, most beautiful high in the world. Again, like, if you're visiting Toronto, make sure you hit the Don Valley. I didn't say the Rouge Valley, by the way, because if you actually are Torontonian, everyone knows that the Don fucking Valley is like is rush hour to people who are like, yo, you for the average person, you go to Don Valley to get away, like, find some nature. But the real inside deal is Don fucking Valley. There's a lot of foot traffic and bikes and prams and kids and babies hurdling, throwing bottles at each other and milk bottles, like the baby fucking bottles at each other, right? It's a pretty fucking gruesome affair to a naturalist, like they might say in Russia, a young nature lovers. Guys, Rouge fucking Valley, if you look at the map of the GTA, it takes up about 25% of goddamn fucking area. It's huge. I want to move up there. In fact, I don't. I wanted to, like, I actually wanted to say this to my wife at one point, that my dream, right now, is to move up. Wow, those are some really cool shades, man. Yo, you look like this bitch from the Matrix, sweetie. You look like goddamn Trinity right now. Yo, my wife looks like. Yo, throw me a line. Yeah, I wanted to say, throw me a line, and if it, let me know whether whether my wife looks like Trinity, and then I'll send you fucking acres of diamonds. Yeah. Okay, so let's wrap this up. Acres of diamonds. Amway people who say, for example, rightly, every fucking thing they say is correct. Just trust me on that. Trust me. Trust me on that. You work for 40 hours a week, 40 years, uh, and for 50 weeks a fucking year for 40 years. This, when you think about it, like, the most people, they're like, oh, it's a scam, it's this, but they don't think about what the guy's saying. Imam Ali says, for example, don't look at who is speaking, listen to what they're saying. That's the only reason I go to my wife's church, and my wife might go to one of my, she has in the past, and if we had one close by, I'm sure she'd go with me. Why not? Because that's what couples do. Like, we could fight over Islam and Christianity. Like, we fight a lot, frankly, and nowadays it's been a lot because I've been smoking weed again. And this great lady, she's so great. She knows I have weed right here. Like, I have weed in my pocket, and our whole marriage and my career and our lives were destroyed because of this thing. It's my curse slash gift, or whatever the fuck it is. I got to deal with this thing. I gotta just say, it's my goddamn cross. Listen, listen. I mean, like, at this point, like, in the conversation, if I was talking to a normal person on the street here, guys, yo, I got a Bible in my pocket. My wife, she's kind of gangster about this thing, right? Because we talk about, because I start arguing with her about, like, stuff. My teeth are so horrible. I gotta go to the dentist, sweetie. That's why we're going to this place today, sweetie. So I can get my teeth looked at because I need my paperwork. My paperwork is at this place. She's giving me a ride all the way out to goddamn Thornhill. It's miles away. It's up by Highway 7. Anyway, so now this was in my pocket, and it's a New English version, and I've read the whole New Testament. And this has Psalms and Proverbs in it as well from the Old Testament. And I'm up to Joshua, the book of Joshua. I've read Genesis.
I've read Deuteronomy and Numbers and these kinds of things. Numbers I skipped through. I'm not interested in just reading lists of names, although I am the person who's amazed that there's not more people with these amazing. I've never seen such amazing names in my life. Zebulon. What kind of fucking cool ass name is that? Like, I'm amazed that people, there's no one called Zebulon. You don't meet people like this anymore. Like, anyway, so that might be Islam versus Christian kind of thing, because most Muslim names are Pakistani, Indonesian, all this stuff. It's all the words from the Quran, all of them. Like there's no deviance from this, more or less. If you're a Muslim, then your name is a word from the Quran, more or less. Um, but Zebulon, and then you've got like hundreds, if you may have thousands of these weird names in the Old Testament. It's really, really intense. But yeah, I just skipped through those kinds of things. Leviticus, I think, yeah, and then I've on the side, I'm very interested in the book of Ezekiel. One of my favorite bands is Killing Joke, and one of my favorite songs of theirs right now is, oh, it's just, it goes like this: jimbin, jimbin, jim, jimbin, jimbin, jim. Like a lot of thrash metal, a lot of their stuff has this jimbin, jimbin. All of thrash metal, I've been saying this because I realized how cool it is. All of thrash metal is one note, and you don't even need two hands. You need one. You play the first string is an E string, kids. Every alternative damn good boy excels. That's E, A, D, G, B, and then echo E. That's the strings of your guitar. The top string, the E, in heavy metal, you tune it down so that you can play power chords. So you need to look that up on YouTube. But you can play the guitar if you just play one string, and you can dampen it. Like if you play the string and you put your hand on the string and you go like this, tim 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 tim, or with the plectrum, jun 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 jun. That's the jun 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 jun. It's not or drr, drr, that's grindcore. All the grindcore is that one note, but like fast, and it's not just the one note. Frankly, like Napalm Death, like more or less are the gods of grindcore. I'm rambling. I gotta go. I carry a Bible. Like my wife is gangster. She's like, we don't just talk a bunch of shit and try and fight people. We actually, everything we say is from the book. And my wife reads the whole Bible. She doesn't need to carry it with her. Trust me on this. She can read. She's just like 0.001% of all Christianity ever. She reads the whole Bible with her eyeballs. She eyeballs the whole thing every year. Like my one of my best friends, Blake Henstridge, Christian guy, lives in a tent, and he's going crazy on drugs, this kind of thing. Like, I'm sorry to have to tell you that. Like, I got a video about this guy, a couple. If you go to at sign a rational Muslim again, youtube.com/@ sign a rational Muslim. So now we don't just talk shit. And among other things, I learned what I've learned. If you want one or two things, three things I've learned from my wife in Christianity. And no one can argue with these fucking things. Christians, they own the concept of love as far as that is concerned. They are the ones who get to talk about what is it and what does it mean. Because even the Quran says, I just told my wife's usher, like a guy called Patrick, like beautiful Africans at this church that we go to. It's out on Progress Avenue. I might as well tell you. Progress Avenue is called Cross Point with a T, kids. So yeah, I mean, you should go to like different seminars. You should go to the library when the Millionaire Mind Shop or whatever the fuck is in town. And I've seen Tony Robbins. Yeah, I've seen fucking the Rolling Stones. I've seen my favorite band is Napalm Death. I've seen them like fucking 4 times in different states and provinces and cities. These kinds of things. So I'm just telling you, like it's easy to sit at home and talk a lot of shit, right, guys? So now this video is coming up on 30 minutes, and I gotta stop it. I gotta go. We're back here to pick up the dog, and then my wife was kind enough to take me up to go and find. I gotta go get like one of my errands. But it's on the other side of the goddamn GTA. See you later. Send me some comments. Send me any kind of love or comments. I will send you a copy of goddamn Acres of Diamonds. I haven't even talked about this fucking book. Basically, all it is I've realized that I'm a master at building websites and creating website content, and so I am gonna get back into it. My wife's been telling me for years, practically, right, sweetie? My wife looks like Trinity, guys. So just let me know if that's the case, and then we'll call it a day. All right?